Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Dish on Aging. This is the series that I'm calling Tip of the Day. For people this is your first time to this YouTube channel, my name is Dr. Maureen Sweeney. I am a clinical psychologist. I specialize in geropsychology or geriatric psychology, and I practice here in Bensalem, Pennsylvania. I have a private practice and specialize in geriatrics. Okay, today is Thursday, September 9th, 2021. Today, my tip of the day is going to be I'm going to suggest people starting now make it a plan to get out of your house, to leave your house at least once a day, even if that's just to go sit on your porch for 5 or 10 minutes a day. And let me tell you why that is my tip of the day, today and this week specifically. First of all, I had somebody brought to my attention a publication from yesterday. I think it was in the Huffington Post by Catherine Pearson, Pearson. And the name of her article was New Study Finds Yet Another Health Benefit of the COVID Vaccination. And this journalist talked about a study that was done that found that basically from December 2020 through March 2021, I was in that group of people who were the first group of people vaccinated, that they found that our mental health improved. We had less or fewer symptoms of depression and anxiety after we received our vaccination. So this article talks about that, how there's another benefit of getting vaccinated, that it can help your mental health. And of course, the article talked about something that is so true. Just because this research finding result that getting vaccinated helps improve mental health, they don't know why. It very well may have been that those of us who were able to get access to a vaccination were happy about it. And those of us who were first in line to get vaccination, it was kind of a privilege to be able to get the vaccinations. I was able to get towards the front of the line myself, being a healthcare provider. And what a sense of relief I had, feeling like I didn't have to be as fearful about getting really, really sick from COVID, because the vaccinations give us such fantastic protection against serious illness. And so, but what a wonderful study. Also, one of the things the study talked about, and I loved seeing these numbers, that before the pandemic, on average, American adults of every age, about 1 in 10 would report mental health symptoms. And what came up, I think it was July of 2020, we saw as many as 4 in 10 American adults reporting symptoms of mental illness, anxiety, depression. And I've seen that in my practice. It has been part of the evolution of my Dish on Aging YouTube channel. I started out with the first several months very, very consistently posting an edited presentation. Many of those presentations, I was actually, taking some time and actually researching the topics to put together almost like a short lecture on a topic related to psychology and aging. And out of the blue, that came to a screeching halt in July, and that had to do with this huge influx of not just my practice, but every single mental health provider across the country, a huge influx in people seeking mental health services this past summer. And the trend continues. So that's why I transitioned this tip of the day to be shorter. I don't edit it. I don't put words in, just because I want to just get in with a quick message, get it posted on YouTube to get a tip of the day out there. My hope and intention is to get back to those more kind of detailed, academic-esque presentations. And I also miss, the Gamma S coming in. That's part of the editing, as I continue to be in the process of putting together an animated character who I've named Gamma S, and she gives us her 2 cents on the topics I'm talking about. So what I'm talking about today, the tip of the day, I want everyone to focus from now, and as long as we have nice days, and it's a goal, it's not an absolute, but I want everyone to get out of your residence, to leave your residence for even if it's just 10 minutes a day. And let me tell you why. I spent, I'm going to say, half of my week so far talking with people who are living at home alone, and social anxiety, depression, anxiety levels are coming back. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One of them is those at most risk, and this is just generally across the country, for social isolation during this pandemic is, first of all, I used to be able to say risk of social isolation was living alone, but it can also now be in a senior 55 and older community, because when we have these major shutdowns of COVID outbreaks, many of these facilities, they would close the living rooms. They would remove the furniture from the living rooms. Everybody had to stay in their room or stay in their apartment. So during this pandemic, there was not much of a buffer if you were living in a community, even if you moved there before the pandemic, so that you could participate in social and recreational activities with other people. And so what happened is, over the summer, our COVID levels came down. A lot of activities started up again. The weather got really nice, and guess what? Things are starting to close again. Here in Bensalem, the Bensalem Fall Festival, which is usually held the first weekend in October, they just announced this week that it's been canceled. And part of the reason is lack of interest, and the vendors, and especially the local restaurants that come in with food trucks, are saying that they just don't have enough employees. They don't have enough staff to be able to attend the Bensalem Fall Festival. And so I'm like, oh gosh, that was a free event, that was available to the community. It was outside, and that's not going to be held this year. And so we started to have summer, getting out, doing more things. Here's also what the challenge is. We got schools open. The kids are, face to face, wearing masks, but they're in-person education. A lot of activities locally designed for seniors have not gone back at 100%. They never did, and some of them are now starting to scale back. There are some online classes available designed for seniors. Before the pandemic, they were face-to-face classes, so people could go and spend time with other seniors, have a academic conversation, have socialization, getting together with luncheons with friends, and so on. And those activities throughout the summer stayed virtual by video. So the seniors didn't have the opportunity to get back to social and recreational activities face to face, and I think it's catching up with us. I also, in my practice, I had stayed video care, 100% video and audio care. Some of my colleagues had gone back half and half. They were seeing some patients in the office face to face, some patients by video, and then they had to revert back in the last month or so to everyone being video. And so that's a challenge. It contributes to the social isolation. For some people, they can get a real sense of community through a video. And so that helps a lot. Other people, it's just not who they are. Sure, a video program is they'll participate because it's something to do during the day, but it's just not the same as being in a room with somebody or at a restaurant and sharing a meal. So I've been kind of surprised. We're in the first week of September, and I'm finding I'm talking with each person about, if somebody's had an increase in symptoms of anxiety and depression, it's almost entirely connected with the social isolation, also not having enough to do. And those who are at particular high risk is, gosh darn, we've been a year and a half now, 18 months with this pandemic, and somebody may have been working full time and then decided with the pandemic, oh, it's time to retire. If I continue with my job, it's too much of a risk of exposure for COVID. Remember, most of that first year, we didn't have vaccinations. So somebody might have retired without even setting up a plan for what they were going to do each day. They then retire and there is nothing to do each day. And so it would make sense somebody would go into a challenge with that, symptoms of anxiety or depression. The other concerns that can come up, a lot of us have had huge changes in our lives. Somebody might have changed where they lived. They might have had a full calendar every day of activities they were participating in the community. The pandemic hit, that all shut down and never really got back up again. So this also has a big impact on our mental health. The good news is I was listening to our president talk this afternoon, much more sweeping mandates, particularly related to any facility, all healthcare providers, hospitals, anybody that receives Medicare, Medicaid services, funding, they must mandate all of their staff getting vaccinated. So we're really going to be pushing through to get this last 20-25% of adults who are hesitant to get vaccinated. We're going to be pushing through some of that. It's going to hopefully bring our COVID rates back down again, so that we can get back to, our regular activities, our fall festivals, our winter festivals, our holiday parties and celebrations. These are so important for our mental health. And it is a particular challenge. In the study in the Huffington Post that I talked about just now, that talked about the vaccinations had the unintended impact of boosting people's mental health, sense of well-being. The study also talked about some are more impacted, were much more likely to have mental health challenges during the pandemic, and it has to do with what is somebody's health, what is their ability to get out and about. What I have found in this last year, I out with my dog, my rambunctious puppy, and I just started waving to everybody who went by, mostly because my vision is bad, and I'm not good at knowing cars. Okay, all the cars start to look the same in my neighborhood, and I'm not sure if it's my friend or not. So I just wave to everyone, and so now everyone in the neighborhood waves to me. So that's good. And so now I have getting to know, at least by a wave, and oftentimes if people are out walking, just out for exercise walk or walking their dogs, I'm getting to know them. But so I'm going to offer that suggestion. If you're able to go out for a walk, and that's the challenge with aging. Somebody may be living in a community, maybe there aren't sidewalks. I don't even have sidewalks in my neighborhood, but it's residential enough that I can safely walk. And just to start doing that, just a friendly wave, and that may lead to a conversation. But here's what the problem is that this study picked up, was identifying some people are much more vulnerable, because if you're unable to walk comfortably, maybe one of my friends actually lives in the neighborhood, was due for a knee replacement just before the pandemic hit, and that never happened. So that person isn't able to go out walking and socializing. So my tip of the day, and then when you're not able to go out, much more likely to be at risk for symptoms of loneliness, depression, and anxiety. So the take home absolute tip of the day, I want everyone, even if it's for 5 or 10 minutes, I want everyone to leave the house, even if it's just to go sit out on a patio, sit out on the back porch, as an effort to just having something to do each day. And of course, senior centers are still open. You can go check out your local senior center. Trips to the mall, just go to the senior center just to find out what else is open, what else is going on in terms of activities in the community. By the way, Ben Salem Days, the first weekend, the actual festival during the day is closed. The band and the fireworks are open. So keep that in mind. But again, the challenge with the Ben Salem concerts, it's out on the grass. And people tell me if you're using a walker, you can't get across that grass to go up to where the stage area is. You can stay back by the parking lot, and for some that's enough, but for others they don't feel like they're able to participate. So so we have to focus. We are going to have to start working really hard on this this fall, and as we go through the winter, and I call it the deep dark days of January and February. Identify yourself if you think this is going to be a challenge for you, if you think that as we're coming into the fall, social isolation, not having enough to do is going to be a challenge, then you're going to have to work hard every single day. Okay, if my tip of this day is to get out of the house every day, I need to work hard to figure out where can I go. To the library, walk through the mall, and then just in a very friendly, polite way, start waving to people. And some of you may be like me, where and where your vision isn't good, so you're not sure if that's your friend or not, but you wave anyway. Start doing a little bit of that. You can't go wrong with that. So tip of the day, you got to get out of the house. You got to get out of the house every day. Thanks a lot, and I will see you on Monday. I will post on Monday. And the date on Monday will be September 13th. Okay, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.